Greetings and thank you for tuning in to My Journey with Paula G. We'd like to thank our underwriters, the Good Actor Studio of Marietta, Georgia, my coffee shop at East Lake, Pastors Time International Bible College, Augusta, Georgia, with Dr. Paul and Marcia Kelly, Creekside Dental Incorporated of Douglasville, Georgia, Lusu Designs with Brandon Sampson of Maryland, Survival Radio Network and Clicks Photography by Clark Garrison, and Positive Power XXI Christian Media and Radio Network with Journey Was Live worldwide. We hope you enjoyed this presentation and tune in again. Embrace the journey with Paula G.
Thank you to LMB Tax Service, underwriters for My Journey with Paula G. LMB Tax Service is the premier company. LMB Tax Service offers information on the tax law changes, the most overlooked deductions, and what to bring to tax preparation. Thinking about setting up a business? LMB Tax Service provides information on the process. Visit LMB Tax Service at lbtaxservice.com for more information and for your tax service needs.
You say is true, and I put all my trust in you and all your sovereignty. Nothing in this world can beat a humble servant who was born a king. And my soul longs to see all of your glory, and my soul can't wait to see all of your glory. You gave me a divine guarantee that one day I would see the totality of everything you are. So I'm not impressed with what this world tries to give me. You are everything, and everything you are. So save me all the do-re-mi. I don't want to hear unless you speak. Every word you say is true, and I put all my trust in you and all your sovereignty. Nothing in this world can beat a humble servant who was born a king. And my soul longs to see all of your glory, and my soul can't wait to see all of your glory. You gave me a divine guarantee that one day I would see the totality of everything you are. So I'm not impressed with what this world tries to give me. You are everything, and everything you are. A divine guarantee that one day I would see the totality of everything you are. So I'm not impressed with what this world tries to give me. You are everything, and everything you...
Welcome to My Journey with Paula G, where we juggle this journey called life while walking in the gifts and talents that God has given you. Thank you so much for joining us and supporting this journey. And we also would like to thank our underwriters and our supporters for supporting our journey as well, because without them and without all of you, this could not be possible. So we thank you so very much, and we love each and every one of you. God bless you. Well, each and every week we always open with a jewel from one of our gems on this journey. And today our jewel comes from Miss Aquila McIntosh. And her quote is, "Trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path." You got to trust him. You got to trust him. He'll direct your path. Trust him to lead you on that path, and pray for the wisdom and discernment to recognize when he's opening doors of opportunity. So I pray that encouraged someone on this journey. Today, my guest, I'm excited to have this young lady with me today, and she is known as Raizel. I like that, Raizel. I like that name. And she is Raizel Music. So we thank you so much for joining us today.
I am honored. Thank you for having me here.
I know sometimes it's kind of surreal, when you arrive at a point that you sometimes never imagine, like,
Right.
gosh, I never imagined I'd be here, at this moment.
Yep.
You just have to
You
kind
are
of
speaking everything. Yeah.
just have to kind of sit there and kind of
Yep.
marinate on it for a moment, So just kind of share with us a bit how that feels, because I think too it also speaks to, when you have a vision about something and you pray and God, can you open
Right.
these doors?
Right.
And you pray for it and you prepare, but then when it actually
When it
happens,
actually manifests,
like,
it's
oh man,
Yeah.
were listening. How does that feel for?
it's definitely very, very eye-opening, because what I'm learning is God honors intentionality. And if God is like, okay, you're bold enough to pray this, I'm going to do it. And with these kinds of things that happen, like you said, once it actually happens, once it actually manifests,
Yes.
it creates a level of awareness. Like, I'm on this platform. I'm gonna use this for your glory. I'm gonna get the message across. I'm gonna do what I need to do.
Yeah.
Govern myself accordingly, because it's here.
Yeah, and be serious about what you're doing.
You gotta be serious. So it's very just. For me, it creates a sense of urgency, and that's a good kind of urgency.
Yeah,
It's-
and I love your choice of words, intentionality. It's like you must be intentional when
Right.
he starts opening those doors. You start seeing these opportunities,
Right.
and that comes with the whole preparation.
Yes.
When you
Preparation
pray.
is key.
Yeah, isn't
My
that
goodness,
true?
yep.
When you pray for something, you pray for it, but you prepare
Right.
for the answer. And I think a
Right.
lot of people miss their blessing because they don't prepare for the answer.
That's good.
It's like, oh yeah,
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, but you have prepared.
Yes, ma'am. I do hope so. To the best I can.
You have prepared. So share with us how your music came about.
Well, so I've been doing music my entire life. At my parents' house, there's this piano. It's still there. But as a kid, I'd bang at it. And,
Yes.
Eventually it kind of evolved into just, chopsticks, into, real chords. This makes a sound, that makes a sound. And simultaneously, I do believe that God was developing my ear at the same time he was developing the skill.
Wow.
The memorization of the keys and hearing the music and naturally being able to sing the music. So I'm truly humbled by that, because that lets me know that it's truly authentic. It comes from an organic place. So, I've just grown up doing that. And probably when I was about, I'd say 13, 14, I started to minister at different churches around Baltimore, different youth events, like, hey, we want you to come sing here. And of course I was involved in my church,
Right.
my home church. And,
So you were getting exposure as you were going around and
and I didn't
singing
even
and
know
the
it.
note.
Yep. Absolutely. And it was unique, because I did play basketball. My sister and I, we played basketball our entire lives. So when people would come up to me, I'd be like, oh, do you know me from music or basketball? And they're like, I don't know, I've seen you somewhere. And
Right.
So it was a high level of consistency of that kind of exposure. Just
That's
at the
thing,
different
consistency.
Yeah, it was very consistent. And being a child teenagers, young adult, into my young adulthood, I didn't really see how significant it was. So
Because he was laying the foundation for all of that, and when you would be asked to sing and performing, also giving you that experience of stage presence,
right, yeah, absolutely,
and being able to be on the stage
Yeah.
and how to take command of the stage, how to hold the mic, all of those
things. It was being integrated, and I didn't even know it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I thank God for it.
Yeah.
It's definitely unique.
And
Way.
how to handle the moments when you're on stage and things maybe aren't going exactly right, and you gotta
You just work through
it out.
You have to, because 9 times out of 10, the audience wouldn't know that something's wrong,
So, oh my gosh, that's
and
so
we
true.
give it away because we're like, what happened?
Yeah.
So it's just up to us to just kind of take it in that moment.
Yes.
And be like, okay, just keep moving forward. It has to go. It has to go forth. It has to happen.
Right.
So,
What are some of the significant moments, if you can identify any particular moment or moments where you feel, and maybe you didn't recognize it then, or maybe you didn't recognize it then, where you feel this moment or this particular experience really cemented my journey, me, as far as moving in this particular direction?
Absolutely. I'm looking back on it. I remember it so vividly in high school. One of my school administrators had asked me to come and minister at a Roman Catholic church, and I think it's in downtown Baltimore somewhere like. But it's one of those really tall, prestigious looking chapels, and I love that kind of stuff. Stained glass windows, all of that. So I'm excited to do it, and but I didn't know what I was getting myself into. It was unlike anything that I had ever experienced. I went to a Catholic school my entire life, but still being in that element and having to apply myself that way in that time, kind of atmosphere, it was really cool. So it was for one of their worship nights, and the whole congregation, all the pews were filled up, and I'm just like at this piano, and I'm like, okay, Jesus, help me.
Help me with it.
Yeah.
Get my fingers moving. And
Yep. But at that moment, it was received really, really well.
Yeah.
And I was shocked. So I said, okay, this is something that I have to hold on to.
Yeah. I just, as I'm listening to you speak, it's just, I'm just kind of in awe at, every point from, like you said, when you were a child and banging out the chopsticks and then seeing how, the chords developing and how it all kind of works together. And at the same time, from the chopsticks to learning your ear, that seed of being able to hear the music and understand how it all kind of works together.
It does. It truly does work together like a well-oiled machine. And I'm still learning it. I'm still learning it. I'm forever a student.
Yeah.
to the music, the way it happens, the way it unfolds. It's definitely a blessing.
Yeah. And I think so. So many people. When they say music is a universal language, that is so true. I often travel outside of the country, and a song can come on by a particular artist or artist that's known worldwide, and people around the world just respond the same way.
Wow.
They respond the same way. So, it truly is a vessel. I think that God definitely uses through people, to bless those, within their listening ear as well. So share with the audience, before we go to break, because we're going to go to break and come back on the flip side of the break, but just share with the audience how they can stay connected with you.
Sure. You can visit iamraizel.com. I am Raizel. .com. Also on Facebook, Raizel, that's spelled Raizel, and Instagram, official Raizel, and let's chop it up. I can't wait to connect.
Well, when we come back on the flip side of the break, there were a couple things that I wanted to ask you about, and one of them is in regard to your music and how you feel you have been able to impact people, with your music, and the other is how you would describe your music and what you hope that your music will do for people.
Right.
So we are here with Raizel, and she's sharing her journey of how music has just been a part of her life, almost like brushing her teeth. Music has been a part of her life.
Absolutely.
But when we come back, we are going to continue this conversation. So you stay tuned. This is My Journey with Paula G. And we'll be back in a moment.
Here we have a king, majestic in all his ways. Here we have a son, loved by his father. Ooh, and I can't imagine why you gave your life, went through so much trouble over me, over me, over me, over me, over me. Here we have a man, majestic in all his ways. Here we have a son, loved by his father. Ooh, so I can't imagine why you gave your life, went through so much trouble over me, over me, over me, over me, over me. And here we have a man, perfect.
Welcome back to My Journey with Paula G., where we juggle this journey called life while walking in the gifts and talents that God has given us. And prior to the break, we were talking with my guest, Raizel, and she was sharing with us her journey of music, through music, how music was just embedded in her as a young child, and over the years, how God has placed her in situations to develop her music, to bring her where she is today, to utilize that gift that He has given her to bless others. So what I want you to do is share with us how you feel your music thus far has impacted those who've heard it.
You know, it has. I've learned that the music that God gives me, it's really for everyone. And I don't want to sound cliche, but I have had people my age to people my mom's age, just all at once. Oh my God.
So all
your
generations.
music. Yes. And
Yes.
it just shocks me. I'm humbled by that because I don't think my music is traditional. I really don't know what to classify it as because it comes from such an organic place, and it just comes out so raw. So I'd say it's impacted everyone. I'd say it's definitely made its mark because it requires for you to listen. It requires for you to incline your ear, and it's the uniqueness of it, the complexity of it. It definitely will make you do a double take, or a double listen rather. So.
But I think when you were saying you don't think your music is traditional, but you think back to that piano that was in the house. Somebody else was playing that piano, and that somebody else probably was playing something traditional. So at a young age, even before your pre-verbal state, you're hearing traditional music. Those seeds are being planted.
Right.
And then when you sit there and you start with the chopsticks or whatever it is,
Absolutely.
it's still as a young
that's
child.
An awesome way to look at it.
Yeah, because you're still, mama, grandma, uncle, somebody was playing that piano. You're sitting in church, And during that time period, I dare say is probably traditional, even though you probably weren't thinking.
Right.
So now that you're sitting there, these seeds are being planted, and it's part of who you are, part of your subconscious.
Right.
You know. So now,
That's
when you
good.
go to create, you have a holistic pool, let's say, of talent to draw from,
I
and you
agree.
don't even realize it.
Well, I
'Cause
didn't.
it's
You know
part of
what?
you.
I never heard it put that way until
Yeah.
just now.
Yeah,
That is
that's
awesome.
part of you. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, because as you were speaking, you know, I was sitting here and I was watching. I said, she doesn't even realize it's just been planted in her from the
Yes.
because you're like, I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. And I was thinking as you were saying that, and I'm thinking back. Okay, the piano was there before she was, so somebody was on it. So she's probably, you know, being bounced on somebody's lap, and somebody's sitting over there playing that piano, you know. And as little ones, you know how little ones do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was me.
Bebopping and carrying
Yeah.
on, you know, like that. So, like you said, it comes from an organic place, and that makes it that much more powerful.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, and I love what you
agree.
said about words, that it really requires you to listen.
Yeah,
You know, we always say words have
absolutely.
power. So it sounds like you're intentional with your lyrics as well.
I am, and I owe my life to the Word of God. And if I find myself lacking in writing and coming up with lyrics or catchphrases, I will go straight to the Word. Like, okay, Psalms, Proverbs.
Yeah.
I try to have the lyrics as committed to the Word of God as possible, with that abstract, poetic, you know, all those things, all of those elements that come with lyricism. But absolutely, the foundation of the lyrics is definitely what I pull from the Word.
Wow.
And how I've seen it manifested in my own life.
Yes.
You know, the Word is alive, and it's living, it's moving every day. So
Living, moving, and it has its being, and it's just really changing. You know, it's really changing lives. What do you envision moving forward in regard to, and maybe
Moving
not just
forward?
music, if there are some other areas that you're looking to
absolutely.
expand on?
Moving forward, I'll start with music. Moving forward, I definitely see myself full time. Just
Come on, speak
you
that
know,
now.
listen, okay, just
Speak that into the atmosphere.
I'm gonna be honest. I want music to pay my bills.
Hey.
I want music to pay my bills. I want to do it as a living, and also just having that experience of what's really significant to me is transitioning out of the studio onto a live platform. It's a bunch of sounds that I can nitpick and manipulate in the studio, but stepping in there live and having that raw, you know, cohesive band, and having to apply myself on the mic in front of God's people, you know, to bless them, to encourage them, to build them up. That comes with a great responsibility. So I definitely see myself just moving deeper into that arena, into the live set. I think that's a very significant way of drawing people, you know. Absolutely
into what it is.
into the Lord, into Jesus.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, I mean, there just been so much positive feedback, you know, about your music and your ministry, and how, you know, you bless, you know, so many people. And I would dare say, probably as a little girl, you probably never imagined.
No, not
You
really.
know.
All I knew, I was very oblivious as a child. I was so oblivious and hard-headed. So in my rambunctiousness and obliviousness, I would just do what I did and like, okay, I love it. All I knew was I loved it.
You loved it.
But when I was 10 and probably in the preteen to teenage stages, God showed me, this is in you for a reason.
Wow.
I have implanted this in you for a reason, and you have to follow me. You have to pick up your cross and follow me to figure that out. So, okay.
Right.
I got saved at 14.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And here I am.
Wow.
It definitely has a great assignment attached to it. Because like you said earlier, music is powerful.
Yes.
Music is very influential. It's a universal language. But I heard the Lord speak to me one day. He said, music knows what I sound like.
Oh, come on.
Music knows what God sounds like.
Yes.
And that immediately shattered this bubble that I had of music. It really is just a tool. And it's a powerful tool. So I believe that, we take this tool and we recommit it back to how God does it. It'll be that much more powerful.
Yeah, and really, and it sounds like you really just open yourself to what it is that He's pouring
Absolutely
in you and through you.
Yep.
He has set the foundation, so when He pours that in you, He's from that 4-year-old little girl, set that foundation. So when He pours that into your spirit, you just take it and you just flow.
Absolutely.
You just flow with that. That has to be just a surreal feeling.
It is. It is. It doesn't get old, and I do not take it lightly.
Yeah.
Because it's a responsibility. It really is. It's a mantle. It is. I'm still learning that.
So when you say that you want to entertain music full time, what does your day look like? You wake up in the morning. I'm in music full time. What's your day look like? Because we gotta envision that. We gotta speak that.
Wake up in the morning and hit the flow. Because I will just jet out the door and be like, okay, I gotta get to the studio. I gotta get it. And God is like, relax, hit the floor. Do that morning devotional time. My best friend Shay Sarah, she is pushing me like, do your morning devotionals. Like, make sure you pray, get in your word. So absolutely that for sure. But after that, I mean, just kind of having my keyboard, my in-house studio set up.
Come on,
speaking
it.
And just saying, Lord, these are your hands. They don't belong to me.
Yes.
Turn on the keyboard and just start playing.
Just
allow God, like you said, to open up that valve within myself. And
usher in His presence.
Yes.
And allow Him in to kind of pour in you.
Yeah.
And through you. That's going to happen.
Absolutely.
I'm such a strong believer of speaking, things into existence and speaking our I am.
Yes.
I
Absolutely.
am a full-time,
I am.
recording artist, singer, songwriter. That is,
for sure.
I am making a living at that,
Absolutely.
and doing that. So, we know that that's going to happen. And we're going to have you back when it does. And you're going to...
I'm ready.
She's going to be crazy. She's going to be crazy. So give your website one more time.
Yep. I am Raizel.com. I am RAIZEL.com. Facebook, Raizel, and Instagram, official Raizel. Let's chat. Let's connect.
All right, Raizel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us. And remember, the greatest conversation you will ever have is the one that takes place in between your ears. What are you speaking to yourself? Is God a part of that conversation? And are you listening to His still small voice? Until next time, embrace the journey.
Cut. Excellent, lady. Greetings and thank you for tuning in to My Journey with Paula G. We'd like to thank our underwriters, the Good Actor Studio of Marietta, Georgia, my coffee shop at East Lake, Pastor's Time International Bible College, Augusta, Georgia, with Dr. Paul and Marcia Kelly, Creekside Dental Incorporated of Douglasville, Georgia, Lusu Designs with Brandon Sampson of Maryland, Survival Radio Network and Clicks Photography by Clark Garrison, and Positive Power XXI Christian Media and Radio Network with Journey Was Live worldwide. We hope you enjoyed this presentation and tune in again. Embrace the journey with Paula G.